Yes, and one of those is right here with us here this morning, Christina Moffett. Thank you for joining us.
Thanks for having me.
Yes, we wanted to share your story this morning as we have been celebrating entrepreneurs all week long with World Entrepreneurial Week. Obviously, you're the owner and creator of Créme Cupcake and Dessert, which is why we see some beautiful deliciousness on the desk with us this morning, and we'll get more to that. But you're also the director of Small Business Resources for the Greater Des Moines Partnership. So you have a lot to talk about this morning when it comes to entrepreneurs. But first, let's start with your personal story.
Well, I'm going to tell it as fast as I can. I have kind of the typical journey of went to college, get the good job. But what I found out right out of college is that I just had this hole that was missing. And as the recession was kind of settling in, I had an opportunity to either stay in a job that I knew maybe wasn't for me for the rest of my life, or if I held that job, I'd be taking somebody else's position that's all they wanted to do. And so I made the leap from my home kind of side gig that I was doing into full-time entrepreneurship. There was quite a few signs that set me on that path to show me that I was in the right direction. One was when I landed a 1,000 cupcake gig in Des Moines, kind of said, okay, if I can sell these 1,000 at a time to a pretty fancy gala, this might actually be something I should be doing.
Right.
So off I went, found the kitchen. It hit me very hard that first day that I was all alone, which we can talk about later, but it hits a lot of entrepreneurships of how lonely that is when you leave an office of people surrounding you. And off we went. And so we made it to the event. We served 1,000 people in Des Moines, and we basically exploded overnight. Good, bad problem to have. So I needed to hire an employee. I did not have an HR department now to filter out applications for me. I did not really know how to hire anybody. And so I decided I would hire the best person I knew, and that was my mom. And so my mom left her career of 23 years.
Wow.
To come join me, and she told me from the time that I was selling at a market that she knew that we would be on a permanent corner someday, and she believed in it, and she wanted to be my first employee. So adding in that first employee is key, because all of a sudden you can move twice as fast. So we were able to grow and quickly add on 3 more people in the process. And after only being in this 8 months, we found out that our building had transitioned owners, and we had 30 days to find a new spot. So it was like, okay, well, we're going to try to think fast on our feet and find a spot. And Des Moines being Des Moines and everybody knowing each other, we landed on our feet in a very small spot that we kind of thought, okay, this is where we're going to be. And that wasn't the case, because we had got a call that a business in Ingersoll had closed that day. 3 of the owners surrounding the shop had called us and said, we don't want to lose the bakery here. Will you please come look at this spot? So I decided, okay, we'll go look at the spot. I kind of had this vision in my head that this is where we could potentially add the cocktail lounge that we had been dreaming of pairing with the bakery. So off we went to see this beautiful spot, and I thought, okay, this is gonna work. We've always been very successful in our numbers, and what I found out is that people did not believe in the vision of a cocktail lounge and a bakery in Des Moines. So I was actually turned down 7 times for a loan, even though we had never been in the red. Our numbers looked great that we could project this, but it was just a too foreign of a concept for a lot of banks in Des Moines, and we were coming out of a recession. So a couple things in there that kind of impacted that. So I gave up kind of on that vision. But what ended up happening is a gentleman I went to grade school with called me and said, I heard you're looking for a loan, and I think that my bank would do this loan. Will you come talk to me? And that's how it got done. So the owner of the building sat on the space, never showed it to anybody else for 6 months, because he believed in our concept.
Wow.
A gentleman I went to grade school with in Ankeny actually got the loan through for us, and that's when we opened on Ingersoll. So 3 months, I went back, was able to gather friends that I worked with at an architecture firm before, came in and did all our design, and we got the store open, and that's where it's like, okay, we thought we had arrived and this is going to be great and we're going to be off running. And 3 weeks into opening that shop, I had been just tremendously sick the whole time we were trying to get the shop open. And I really was like, it's stress, it's stress, it's stress. It was actually a baby. So I found out I was 11 weeks and 5 days pregnant opening that shop 3 weeks in. So my mom, being my mom, said to me, you've got to get your managers in place. You've got to give us more responsibility. Like, figure this out. Yeah. You're running a crew of 14. You're doing too much. to be pregnant and run this shop. And so we kind of restructured, got a really good management team kind of in place. And on September 26th, which was just about 7 weeks into running the shop, we'd worked a full day. I left to go tell some friends I was expecting, and my phone started ringing off the hook, which was, it's not unusual for that to happen because everybody tries to sell you everything when you're an entrepreneur. So here I was trying to enjoy my dinner. My phone just kept ringing, ringing, ringing. And I finally said, I think I better go take this. I walked outside and was informed that my mom had suffered a massive stroke that night after going home.
Yeah.
And from that point, it just rocked my world because I hated every single thing about my business. I wanted nothing to do with my business. I had 4 siblings staring at me saying, what did you do? You know, I mean, I just didn't want anything to do with it. I wanted to hand over the keys and be done. And I sat at the hospital thinking, like, how do I get out of this? My stomach's growing, like maybe this wasn't supposed to happen. Maybe I'm not supposed to be doing this. And I got a call from the Food Network's Cupcake Wars asking if I'd go on the show. And I literally went off on the lady telling her how much I hated cupcakes. It was not an interview like this where I was smiling. It was very much how they destroy people's lives and like, why do you keep doing the show? And like all this stuff. And the lady hung up and she's like, well, just think about it. And so I walked back in the room and my younger sister basically threw down an ultimatum at me of, you either go on the show for the state of Iowa and women entrepreneurs,
yes,
or you tell mom when she comes out of this why you didn't go on the show, which is going to be worse. And so that's what I did.
Off you went.
So despite all these setbacks of wanting to start your own business and things just coming at you, you forged ahead and found a way and now have an incredibly successful business that we are so proud of you for.
Thank
and
you.
you share
Learning
that
as you
story.
go.
Yeah, you share that story of never settling, and now you help others.
I do.
Not only women business leaders, but anybody that really wants to start their own business here in Des Moines. Talk about how you're working with the partnership to make that happen.
Yes, so I had a lot of people pull me through that time, and I just like, as I kind of got back into it, my mom was getting better, and my son was getting better after having him. He had some medical complications. I had a lot of women coming to me saying, okay, how did you do this? Like, somehow you've made it through all of this.
Yeah.
And I would just tell them what I knew. And I was kind of in that spot of debating, do I come back in and take my general manager's spot away, who has stayed with me for 2.5, 3 years through all of this chaos, or do I begin to pay it forward, which I really felt was my calling now, to give back and help these people proceed forward. So I was offered to take that skill and actually work with entrepreneurs at the Small Business Development Center first, and now at the Greater Des Moines Partnership, of helping everybody through, because they're all facing this stuff constantly on the backside. But you as consumers you'll never see it, because they have to put on their happy face and provide their service every day.
So if entrepreneurs are hearing this out there, or someone's saying, I have a dream, I have a bold goal, I want to go after it, what do you recommend is a stepping stone, especially with the partnership?
I would definitely reach out to somebody and have them flesh your idea out with you. A lot of times, being the Iowa Nice, we say, oh, that's such a great idea,
right,
but we don't have them go anywhere to help them through that piece. So at the Des Moines Partnership, it's just dsmpartnership.com/small business. We have an entire small business hub, such as a startup checklist now.
For people.
Yeah, and all kinds of classes that are broken out to what they might need. And my information's on there to reach out if you'd like to just talk through things, especially if you don't even know which startup location might be great for you.
Right.
A lot of times I will meet with them and help them get them to the right location that can help them through that startup process.
There's so many things to think about, but your story is always amazing to hear. So thank you for sharing it this morning. Speaking of which, holidays are here. Who doesn't want some cupcakes?
The success she has built.
And we're talking Thanksgiving. We're talking Christmas. We also want to let you know there's a holiday open house coming up November 26th, right around the corner. So if you want to see Créme, if you've never been there, you're crazy. It's amazing, delicious, amazing drinks. A great place to just bring friends and loved ones and have a wonderful evening together, or just pick up some of your favorite favorite treats and take them home with you. Speaking of which, what are some of the fun things we can get nowadays?
One of the fun things, every month we do a charity cupcake for a nonprofit. This month is actually Blank Children's Hospital, which is near and dear to my heart. It is designed by the organization. So this one, it's their 75th birthday. So they did the Blank Children's Hospital. It's called Birthday Pash. So it is actually filled with sprinkles on the inside, designed by their staff. We kind of started to talk about the pie with the bourbon in it. So for Thanksgiving, we have a Kentucky bourbon pecan pie.
Thank you.
If you don't mind, let them do the baking for you.
Yes, and if you need that little shot of alcohol to deal with your family, it's in there and nobody will know. And then our holiday almond bark, we have Oreo and we have our peanut butter chocolate. And then we actually custom blend all our sprinkles. So we have several different holiday mixes. And then the other thing I'll mention is a lot of people like to do the holiday decorating, but not in their house. We have multiple classes where you can come in and do it, and especially the gingerbread.
Leave the mess there and then take the goodies home.
And we have a gingerbread house class, so where it's constructed and you don't have to fight it, and you just come in and decorate it.
Okay, you're amazing. CremeCupcake.com. Find out what's happening, because Christina is doing some incredible things in our community, not only with her business, but other entrepreneurs and especially women business leaders. Thank you so much for being here.
Thanks for having me today.
Thanks for sharing your story. Very inspiring.
It is very inspiring. All right, we are going to